20 years after the Devils won their third Stanley Cup in 2003, we're remembering all of that and bringing back all the alums to reflect. So we bring in Scott Gomez. Welcome back to the Legacy Lounge.
All righty, thanks for having me.
20 years ago, your team was able to do something that so few groups have done. Come together as one unit and win the Stanley Cup, despite not being maybe the favorites throughout it all. When you look back to how that team was built in order to win, bringing in a coach like Pat Burns and some off-season transactions, how did that lead to New Jersey being able to find that unit?
Well, we had the formula. I mean, anytime you start with, Marty Brodeur, Scotty Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, I mean, we had what it took. I think for a while there, we just, that Colorado loss, we just couldn't get over that. We'd be the first to admit that we let Larry Robinson down the next year, and it was almost like a depression towards the hockey phase, but we just couldn't get over that. And it took a guy like Pat Burns to come in, and he knew right from day one there was a new sheriff in town, and he knew the potential we had. He knew we had the mix, we had the formula. Even at that time, finding the right pieces of the puzzle, putting lines together, and once we got in the playoffs, we were a pretty confident group, and we loved nothing taken away against Boston, but they were still on the upcoming. And at that point, we knew we could get by the first round. We kept going, kept building, and before you know it, we have a chance to erase all those Colorado memories, and that was really big for the guys that went through that heartbreak loss in Game 7. That was kind of you can continue on in life, let's say.
When you look at the final, that series, only the home team won throughout those 7 games. What was different about the Devils at home in order to get all those wins?
It was one of those. We felt confident at home. Gone through that. I mean, most of the years I was there before, we were a lot better on the road. But the Anaheim series, it went Game 7 and taking nothing away from the Ducks because the run they had, it was tremendous. But if you go back, I mean, we took care of business Game 1 and 2, and Game 3 or 4 could have easily been ours. Doesn't happen. They score, I think, first goal in overtime, the first shot, whatever. That doesn't happen on Marty ever. But we go back home, take care of business, and we're thinking we're probably going to end at Game 6, and then that doesn't happen. And I just remember, that plane ride back was probably the longest day of all our lives that next morning because we ended up staying the night. And just like I said, the memories of Colorado were still fresh in our minds. But just knowing our record at home and knowing that, for some odd reason we got the magic here and just got to get the first one, and the rest is history, as they say. But the place was rocking, and it's kind of, you always hear about home ice advantage, and sometimes in hockey it doesn't really work that way. But that year it was, and you talk to other guys that played against us, and they did say it was just different playing that year in the Continental.
Speaking of Marty, he said out of all that group, the 2003 Cup winning team, you are the biggest storyteller on that team.
Well, it's not that. I probably just remember stuff the most, and I probably have the gift that I can tell a story where the rest of these guys can't. But I wasn't the best in school, let's put it that way. But when it came to being around hockey, and it was just it was funny because me, Marty, John Madden, I forgot who else we were all to get, Whitey, and a couple other. And as much as you remember, and this is what makes these things so special, it's like you only remember so much, but then when you're with the other guys and they each got their own little take with it, or no, it actually happened this way. And but yeah, what a special group. And once we get together, I mean, someone got to tell the story, and I guess that's me. But nothing wrong with that.
We're happy to have you here celebrating with your teammates, and thanks again for the time and some very good stories for us.
Oh, thank you. I try.